Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Have had a good start to the week here and got to continue to, win the preparation here as we get ready for kickoff. Obviously there's been staff changes, Coach Petrino, changes on the defense side of the ball. But also the reality is this is a really good football team. They obviously disappointed with how the Notre Dame game, transpired, middle of the second quarter on. But you look at that, a couple of close defeats, one possession games, a couple of weeks prior to that against ranked opponents. So a really good football team, defensively. We'll see what we get from the new staff and have to adjust during the course of the ball game. From them offensively, dynamic quarterback, throwing the ball extremely well. He got playmakers out on the outside, and obviously he's got a huge impact on the game with his feet, and that's, he's scrambling, extending plays, throwing it down the field, picking up yards off the scramble with his feet, and the ability to use him in the quarterback run game and tilt the numbers in their favor. So huge test for us, but one we're looking forward to when we get to Saturday.
Coach, we'll start you off with Trey Biddy of Hog Sports.
Hey, Coach. I was wondering, I don't think you and Coach Petrino have crossed paths much. Maybe you have. And I was wondering, what your thoughts are of him as a play caller and a coach, and if there is any kind of story you have where maybe you have crossed paths.
I've seen him from afar for the most part. Coach Petrino's done a great job as a head coach and as an offensive mind. They're going to stress you. Does a great job with the run game. With the quarterback they have now, the quarterback run game being a part of that. And, has always done a good job throwing the football down the field. And you're going to see a lot of concepts from him. And you got to handle motions and, shifts, trades, all of that. Communication will be really important in this football game for us defensively.
With the changes on the defensive side of the ball for Arkansas, is this a situation where you just kind of have to prepare yourselves and do what you do, or is it you have to go back and look at old stuff from some of the coaches they've added, or how do you do that exactly?
Yeah, a little bit of all of that. I think, on game day it's going to be critical. Our players communicate at a high level on the field, but then also coaches and players, once you get to the sideline and be able to adjust and be sound in what you're doing, and ultimately you're going to have to do a great job of adjusting during the course of the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Next will be Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Josh. I know last year's result probably isn't a big thing in the coaching meetings and all, but with your players, I'm assuming that getting some revenge from last year's game is a topic. What maybe have you heard from the players about that this week?
Yeah, I think everybody certainly remembers the disappointment of that night, and that's a part of how you move forward as a program, and focal point during the off season. When I say that, just controlling what we can control and continue to push to ultimately become our best. One play doesn't have anything to do with the next. 1 week doesn't have to. You look at college football scores across the country week to week, and understand it's a new season every single week. And last year's last year, but certainly we need and want to go play our best brand of football, and that's what it takes to win in this league. That's what it'll take against Arkansas on Saturday afternoon.
The Arkansas defense has had a little struggle getting lined up and playing fast, and I wonder, your pace of play being basically the tops in the nation, how that might play into this game. Would you be, trying to go even faster to keep them on the back foot, so to speak? And how do you think Joey is situated to handle that?
Yeah, he's handled, when we played with Tempo, he's handled it extremely well. Been a good decision maker and, been accurate with the ball. But, has seen pictures from the defense structure and got himself in the right place. And so, in today's game, in the scope of what we do, tempo is always a portion of what we do, but we got to be able to execute in all phases, whether we're playing fast or whether, we're shifting, motioning, all of those things. And like I said, there's some unknowns going into this one from them defensively, and we got to do a great job of adjusting.
Appreciate you.
Next is Ryan Silva of Rocky Top Insider.
Hey, Josh, first, just wanted to see if you had an update on David Hobbs, but then two, how has he handled, having to miss the front part of the season? I'm sure it's been frustrating for him.
Yeah, David had a great offseason and was playing extremely well during the course of training camp, and unfortunate, but those things happen in this game. He's done a great job in the rehab process, and I think our medical report, first one of the week, comes out tonight. So stay tuned.
Next will be Steve Moulton of WZZ.
Hey, Coach, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Steve. Good to hear from you.
Likewise, Coach. Affecting the quarterback is oh so important. How do you think your team has affected the opposing quarterback so far this year, Coach?
Yeah, we've done a solid job throughout the course of the early part of the season. We've applied pressure with four guys, gotten to them, affected him, made him throw, in uncomfortable platforms and made him move. We've also sacked him. Some of that's been with our pressure package as well. I think, I'm talking about the front, but really in all the entire defense, there's been a lot of really good things. There are just some things that we control that we feel like we can execute at a higher level. And that's always the point of emphasis, is control the controllables and ultimately make the opposing offense earn everything.
And, Coach, a lot's made about, and it's certainly in the teleconference, in your press conference as well earlier in the week, about the interim defensive coordinator, interim defensive line, interim safeties coach. But ultimately, coming off of a bye, how much can a defense change in a week and a half, Coach?
It can change a bunch. Last year, different defense structure from anything that they had shown presents itself in that game, and but certainly they have the opportunity to be a lot different than they've been. And for us, we've seen a lot of different structures. We got to be able to adjust, target guys the right way in our run game and our protections, and then understand what we're seeing from the secondary, and quarterback having his eyes in the right place, but wide receivers, reading things and being in the right spot too.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, that's going to wrap you up today. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, have a great day.